Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 696. Cringe writing is destroying fiction, capital destroying. That is always a fun thing to have in your title of a YouTube video. Something in caps like he's screaming it at us, but that's okay. This is a video by MartheMaven or MartheMaven. I don't know because there's no capital THE. So I'll say MartheMaven. Came out 9 days ago. Has about 3,000 views. It's a 22-minute video. Seems to be doing pretty well. And he's only got 1.16 thousand subs. So it's a small channel. So he's obviously bumping up above his sub count, getting the views in. So he's doing a good job of people liking his videos. So good for him. And I don't know exactly what the video is about. I saw a few seconds. I thought, okay, this could be a good or bad video. I still don't know. But according to the description, it analyzes cringe in modern writing, which could mean two very big ideas. Modern writing in the science fiction world for books or novels, modern writing for streaming services, modern writing for Japanese anime and movies, we don't know. And this is where I'm sort of up in the air, what to expect. I can't tell you. So... what's the
from title and thumbnail, we might be more likely to be in agreement with this one.
maybe I don't know. Like, what is the definition of cringe for us? Like, for me, nothing really. Like, I don't know. Where's a movie or show where you go, ugh, like you're repulsed by? Is that like a gory or a horror show? Is it?
No, cringe is especially in the way it's currently used for a specific style of bad content. It's just the German word that would come closest to that emotion, I think, is Fremdschämen, which means feeling ashamed for the other. Like the thing that you watch is so bad that you feel ashamed on its behalf.
Okay, so that sounds like you're watching a B movie with a low production value with bad acting, and you're like, oh,
Bad acting, bad writing, there's nothing good about it.
right. That's to me would be a cringy thing, but that's like in the mindset of something from the 70s, bad sci-fi, bad 14 PG-14 style fantasy, whatever. Could be all kinds of
And
things.
there are people, the political crap aside, there are people who enjoy cringe content. They derive the humor from watching cringe. They find it funny. I don't know if that's some sort of masochism, but it doesn't click with me.
Yeah, because
For
some
certain.
people will watch an anime and go, "Oh, I get." Like, there's one I know I stopped watching called Rent a Girlfriend. I thought, okay, this is a weird premise. You watch it, you're like, this is kind of dumb. And it's,
You're not going to get any progress with that. You're never going to get
right.
progress.
And some people say, "Oh, this is so silly. I can't believe the characters are acting this way," even though you've accepted that the premise is dumb. So it's like, okay, if you accepted the concept of the whole setting and the scenarios are going to be silly, then of course they're going to have bad scenarios and bad acting or bad whatever emotional reactions.
Yeah. I would guess that most people who do watch cringe content do so in groups, because then you can suffer together. You can share in the suffering and also laugh about the crap.
Well,
And like for bad shows like Hunters that I watched together with Mike. That is just I would never watch that alone.
That bad.
well, the same with Steven Universe. Like, some people like Steven Universe as an idea, and the rest of us go, this is not really entertainment for any particular audience that
It
likes.
seemed innocent enough in the first few episodes.
Oh yeah, but then you get into all the crazy ethical messaging and the political stuff, and you're like, wait, what are we doing here? Is this animation?
And
or...
you notice that all the characters are mentally ill in their own way. and I'm gonna be honest with Steven's Universe. In the first season, I thought, oh, this is gonna be interesting because all these characters are mentally deranged in their own way. And that's gonna be used in because it's a technically supposed to be a kids show.
Right.
So they will eventually have character arcs where they are confronted with with the detriments of those problems cause, and overcome that and grow. And that never happens because those character flaws were not intended as character flaws. They are just written. The characters just have them because they're self-inserts of the authors.
Well, there we have the expectations of what a story is, which is a growth story or an arc of a character changing as they go through conflict. That's what we expect in general from any story. So if we go, oh, this romance is dumb, this violence is over the top, this cutesy, sexy thing is just too much for me, at least there's the backbone of a plot and a character who's growing. Like that to me resolves all the dumb crap and whatever Rent-A-Girlfriend is all about. I haven't bothered to watch the first season to know. So if there's that, then okay, great. We have something to work with. There's some drama, there's some comedy, there's some humanity. It's basic that you can't enumerate and break into pieces and throw around the room like you're, I don't know, reinventing the jigsaw puzzle. Like that's not what you do. So cringy, I think a good mention in the chat was JoJo. Not everyone likes watching JoJo, but that's kind of the charm. So if you don't get it, that's fine. You don't have to.
Uzumaki makes a good point in the chat, because there are different aspects to this term. When you can make deliberately cringy content in order to provoke that emotional reaction in the audience. That can also be humorous. Technically, the humor in Rick and Morty is supposed to be that, or part of it. However, when it's called cringe writing, that just refers to writing that is so bad by itself that the entire product is just garbage. There is there's no intentional cringe moment that stands out. It's just all bad because it's so incompetent. It's written by an incompetent mind.
Okay, so there's
what was it? The Mary Sue fan fiction, the infamous, the one that named the Mary Sue.
Right.
That is cringe.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I pointed this out before we started the video. They had the screen cap of Velma in the video, well, the screen cap of the video. So I'm curious what they have to say. Well, obviously Velma is pretty widely regarded as terrible. Everybody, I think I see a lot of people online. They really hate Velma. In fact, I've seen a lot of joke videos.
Go on, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Whisp.
Okay, the thing with Velma is that it's not just a product of incompetence like Steven Universe. It is a product of incompetence and malice.
Yes, I agree.
All right.
In fact, the only video I've seen that they say something positive about is when they show a clip of her getting hit by a car. It's like, and they're like, this is the only good moment in the show when she gets run over.
Well, it seems there's lots of definitions. It's a very nebulous term depending on the content and the genre, whether the expectations of an adaptation are changed from a previous adaptation or an original source. There's lots of things that make a fan go, ugh. And the recent one for me was, I haven't watched it, but I saw a clip of, it was Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and they had the second season on, and they did a musical episode, which is unexpected in a Star Trek show.
Yeah, is that the crossover with Lower Decks?
I don't know. That's another story. God knows why they incorporated that into live action. But
I think I have an idea. They saw the success of the Orville and now think, because that's doing actual Star Trek, and now think that, we need to copy the Orville to be successful, so we make the Family Guy humor in the real life action Star Trek.
It's hard to say, because I will say the first season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds is actually well done. It's not perfect, but it's compared to everything else we've got in the past 12 years, I guess. I don't know.
Well, that's down the drain now.
It's gone, yeah, unfortunately. Anyway, these are just examples of cringe. We have to hear what the YouTuber thinks cringe is so we get a clearer understanding. You can't just say in general something as generic as cringe writing and then is destroying something generic as fiction is going to make any sense. So let's get some terms going first. Anyway, let's get going.
In a world where
Okay, boomer, yeah, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer.
is heavily demonized, all matter of quirkiness
Please, no ice cream! You know I'm lactose intolerant. Kamehameha! Oh, well.
is vilified. We all know what cringe is. It seemingly permeates through everything we experience, whether that's the random stuff on the internet, the food we eat sometimes, or the memories of that thing you did in school that makes you want to turn into this puppy. But most importantly, cringe is inescapable in the stories we experience. And just for the record,
To refer to cringe, we will be using the definition to have an inward feeling of acute embarrassment or awkwardness.
you know, stuff like this.
Have fun.
Yeah, I think the thing you miss is that you cringe because of someone else.
Well,
Or maybe you have an extra word for that in English?
this is the scene from The Punisher, and then they threw in whatever this is with the Batman, and I'm like, okay, is this like the mashup is bad, but what does it mean?
Oh, I recognize the audio. Yeah, where he's saying no, 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 no. Yeah, that's from the Punisher show. I was thinking of the Thomas Jane one from back in the early 2000s for some reason.
Oh. Yeah, I'm like you can take a meme or a popular clip from a movie, put it into a meme, and the meme just doesn't work because it sounds annoying, or there's music over on top and it looks stupid. So you're seeing something you like and you're twisting it, and that could be like, ew, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, when it's just about something that you yourself did, then that's just embarrassment.
Yes, I don't think I'm embarrassed watching the thing. I'm just
cringe
going,
is, yeah, as Uzumaki says, embarrassment for other people's doings.
right.
You're embarrassed on their behalf.
There's
Basically.
the what was that clip at the start of the video where you had that cutesy voice? Like that's kind of annoying. It's just annoying. I don't want to hear it. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Okay.
Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
This scene is a perfect example of how cringe can decrease sympathy for a character that's supposed to be sympathetic. If you don't know, this is
No. Skylar was never sympathetic. I don't know what's wrong with you, but she was never sympathetic. She was always a control freak. Ugh. Mike?
She should have dumped him the moment she found out about his crimes.
He should have dumped her long ago.
That too.
Well, it's an imperfect relationship, of course, and
Well, at least wait.
And
for
taken custody.
At least wait for the kid to get birthed, before divorcing her.
okay.
No. Just by the time of the show, when she forces bullshit food on him, divorce her, and keep custody of the disabled kid, because she's just going to be an Oedipal overprotective bitch.
Skylar, a character from a show called Breaking Bad. And she goes through a lot of BS, from having a neglectful and abusive husband, being threatened with murder, and almost getting,
Oh, he's siding with the woman.
the list goes on. But a good portion of Breaking Bad fans simply don't care because they find her annoying and cringe.
Stop fucking crying.
Not cringe.
Where? I don't want to fucking hear it.
Because to them,
No, it's not because she's cringe. It's because she's a horrible person. Do you want to be married to her? Go ahead.
She literally enables Walt's wrongdoings. That and the fact of, hey, my boss, he's in debt here. Let me give him my husband's drug money, and then hey, maybe he'll spend. What a surprise! He spent it on a car, not his actual debt. Why are you not surprised that you?
Let's cheat on my cancer patient husband, who's trying to make some end of life money because he loves us. She never thought about that. I mean, yeah, it's horribly criminal, no question about that. But he does it to leave it for his family. He doesn't do it for himself, at least not in the beginning. He doesn't do it for the game. He does it to leave something for his family because, well, when he's dead, he can't provide anymore, and they'll be stuck with his medical bills.
Bitchy, needlessly extra.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And is considered a Karen and a cheating whore simultaneously, even though all her behaviors make sense.
No, they don't. And a Karen and a cheating whore is not mutually exclusive.
While you could criticize the writers for taking these risks and making Skylar have these cringe behaviors when they know these type of behaviors can make the audience more jaded towards characters, you really can't criticize them without making yourself look like a malnourished beetle. The audience should be able to sympathize and not view behaviors from someone that is constantly in disgusting and profoundly stressful situations as cringe or corny or annoying or extra or whatever. Hey man, you said this video was about cringe writing. Why are you talking about audiences? If you thought I was only going to talk about the nonsensical and flawed things writers do without bringing up audiences, then that's seriously embarrassing.
So I would say some of his meme editing here is cringe, while he calls absolutely everything cringe.
The whole time.
Yeah, the sounds.
I've been cringing the whole time.
It's the weird memes that have the cutesy voices. It's like,
and he's not really following any definition of cringe. He just calls every bad behavior cringe, and that is not what cringe is.
Yeah, we need an actual, like, he used the definition, but it's like that's not really narrowing it down. And why and how? There's so many ways you are disgusted by a scene, and that could be based off genre, so a romance story working out improperly, a relationship in, let's say, with Breaking Bad, which is a very unique scenario. So there's all kinds of things that make you uncomfortable, but that's not necessarily cringy.
Mm-hmm. And Uzumaki-chan in the chat, yes, he did give his definition of cringe. It was in the Pokédex he showed in one of his memes in the beginning. And that was more about embarrassment for yourself instead of for someone else.
Which doesn't explain all the other examples he's showing.
Yeah.
Talking about cringe without mentioning anime is like describing the dark, ominous beauty of night without speaking of the bright, invigorating spectacle of day. Anime and cringe are damn near synonymous at times, and it makes sense, to be honest. Examples? From the wildly exaggerated emotions.
That's not necessarily cringe.
That's a technique.
Yes. You have weird taste, boy.
Yeah, we have to go into, first off, media. So the format of animation. There could be bad animation. There could be great animation. There could be bad voice acting. There could be great voice acting. There could be all kinds of things like bad subtitles and bad translation. Like, that's just the basics. Then we get into the actual content of, okay, what genre are we talking about? Is this a believable romance? No, that's going to sound stupid. And you're going to sit there like with Rent the Girlfriend, like, what the hell are these characters trying to do? They're lying to their grandmothers. What the hell is this shit?
Anime is actually good at implementing actual scenes that are actually about inducing a cringe, an emotional cringe reaction, which are, for example, you all have seen the scenes of a character hopelessly in love, let's say, jumping through the frame happily with exaggerated backgrounds and everything before usually getting kicked in the face by the girl. But this moment of the floating happy, I wanna hug the beautiful girl, that's the cringe moment. And all these little exaggeration details, they are also to help with that.
Right.
But this moment here that he's showing, that's not cringe, that's just the One Piece art style.
And even this is not necessarily exaggeration in the world of One Piece, because as we know, everyone in One Piece has a gigantic jaw. So it's the art style. So yeah, the example of exaggeration for romance, like the hearts in the eyes, the hearts popping out of the head, the background goes pink, and there's all these flowers and bunnies and clouds. Yeah, that sometimes is a little too much.
Cringe is rather the writing in Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I mean we associate
some of the animation style where everyone is for 5 minutes out of the blue staring into the distance at the ground in these with PTSD lines over their faces.
Well,
what the fuck?
We associate with specific scenes in like Steven Universe or what is it, Thundercats Go, or all these other weird shows that just are bad to watch because they make a mockery of what came before it. So there's expectations, there's content, there's format, there's medium, style. There's all these things that could turn you off. And you have to be very careful with this categorization. You can't just say everything is cringe that's bad, because you just say, well, then everything's bad. It makes you have a negative reaction, whether it's a horror show where there's too much gore, or the gore is unbelievable, or the jump scares are too frequent. You're like, oh, another one, here we go. So there's plenty of bad techniques in every genre, and we have to be very careful what we're talking about.
Yeah. And Uzumaki-chan, while it may be bad form, One Piece is the anime is the anime for One Piece is almost a quarter century old, if not more. That you don't get the excuse, not with the anime out longer.
Brain dead over-reliance on fan service, which doesn't add anything except an audience that now has OCD. Overflowing cumsock disorder. Constant ass pulls for power fantasies and to make up for mediocre writing, which makes the character moments feel unearned and awkward.
Okay, so ass pulls, which is a trope, you could argue. So he's saying certain techniques or certain patterns in writing can be considered cringe. You're like, okay. But then we're just talking about bad writing then. And that's generic. That has nothing to do with anime. That's just happens to be a lot of anime, and you'll get imperfect writing as you go. So you're not helping your argument here. Just bad writing is making you cringe. Yeah, anything can. Stubbing your toe can make you, oh, damn it, I hate doing that.
Generic, stale ideas that genuinely waste your time, or the low-effort comedy that is a lot of the time just some guy screaming.
If you enjoy it, it didn't waste your time.
For some reason.
Are you okay, man?
I just don't like men who are shorter than me.
There's a lot to cringe and critique.
How was that? How Winry's line was cringe somehow?
Oh, no,
is that what he's getting at, or did I misunderstand him?
No, I think it was just Edward's reaction.
Well, this is an expression of how he internally feels.
Which is great in anime, because that's the beauty of anime. You can do that visually. Which you can't do in real life, or in normal shows.
Yeah.
With anime. And with such an over-the-top nature, sometimes people just group up the entire medium, or certain genres of it, as cringe and garbage and dismiss them. And it's because people take cringe as a whole so gravely. For example, you see cringe compilations on the internet a lot, and you have people that are genuinely like, the West has fallen, society has collapsed, because they saw...
I wouldn't put anime on the same level, oh god, as the furry shit.
Let me show you even more of this phenomenon.
New bad guessing game! The rules are simple. Give each one a big old squeeze and then try to guess which one is the premium bun.
This clip is interesting because of the different ways people react to it. Okay then. Oh, cool. But as long as there's nothing too crazy in the show, then it's fine, right? And then you have the people on the exact opposite of the spectrum. This is completely fine. It's just a silly little high school romance show that's a little wild sometimes and should be more common. Yeah, thanks for saying that, I guess. You seem passionate about this, but this freak right here is a perfect example of why anime has such a notorious reputation. The fan bases are either emotionally volatile to the point where they start harassing the mangakas.
Yeah, but this is extreme cases, and we can go back to the Miyazaki quote saying that anime has been a mistake because of the current state of anime, what was it, 10, 15 years ago? Mm-hmm. So there's lots of ways to say what your tolerance level is for fandom. So he's just saying stuff without associating with why is this bad. You could be a fan of Pokemon. You could paint your walls like that. Great. I don't care. How is that cringe? What is bad about it? Is it too much of a good thing? Is it too much of one thing and not knowing enough of the rest? It's like, does the guy just hang out at the fantasy section of the library the entire time and doesn't go anywhere else? What is it? How is it bad? I want to know it because he's just listing a fandom. It's like, that's great. Why? Like, if you listed all of the games or stories or movies that you like, and it's all murder mystery or something, it's like, okay, where's the superhero stuff? Like, it's like I wouldn't know enough to speak about that. It's not because I find it cringy. It just doesn't attract me. So there could
the part that I don't understand from this here is that if he considers, because if we walk back what he just logically what he just showed, what he just did, if he thinks Nagato, the scene from it especially, considers child porn, why did he include it in his video in that way and post it on YouTube?
Right. I mean, you could look at a show that people like. Let's say Kill la Kill. People like that show. I don't. I watched the first episode. Wasn't for me. Fair enough.
What?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I didn't like it.
Uncultured.
I didn't like the outfit. I thought it was too silly and it was too cute.
It is.
Yeah. But
it is completely silly.
But that's the point. And I get that. It's like, that's not for me. I can totally accept other people like it, and I don't care to analyze it. It's not a big deal. Right?
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Anime, degenerate freaks with no morals, or are just corny.
What's the point here? Yeah, those are pedophiles.
Seems to be talked about
the actual
the most,
ones.
But I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
That's something else.
You don't have to interact with the fandoms and can enjoy the shows by yourself. There are good anime out there that you should still give a chance and watch it because you could genuinely be missing out on a story that you could fall in love with. Some of my favorite stories of all time are anime, and it's easy to find the ones which are.
If that's the case, why didn't you put up the name of the anime that you're showing a really cool action scene of?
If you don't find it cringy, you could fall in love with it. It's like, wait a second. This horrible thing you dislike could be amazing. It's like, okay.
I have a feeling he's seeing a glimpse of enlightenment come through a crack in the wall.
Yeah.
But he's not getting the idea of, maybe I should take this wall down so that I can actually see the light and start thinking clearly.
This is somewhere between a parent teaching their child to eat broccoli and you're a plebe, enjoy everything, you stupid, ignorant fool. Okay. I don't know, dude. Like, what a weird solution. It's like, why can't you just fall in love with it? Like, I don't know.
Aren't full of all the bullshit, because yes, narrative inconsistencies are inherently cringe. You wouldn't notice them if they weren't.
Wait a second.
No. Narrative inconsistencies are plot holes. Plot holes are just dumb. They're not cringe.
I don't go, oh my god.
You can't cringe at the absence of something.
Yeah, I don't go, oh my god, Mac Walters and his writing is so cringe.
Oh, I am so embarrassed on behalf of the movie for having forgotten this thing. No, I'll be annoyed.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
I'll sit there and think, hey, what did you forget about the thing? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, watch or play any BioWare game. If you have not seen the errors in this 60-long experience of every game, you're probably not paying attention, and you probably don't know what's going on in the story. So, No, they're not. Writing errors are not inherently embarrassing. That's silly.
Yeah. Well,
So
on the other
awkward.
hand, you watch something like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and to someone like him, it might look like a cringe movie, when it's really just absolutely innocent, the most innocent idiot comedy you can imagine. And they use the idea of time travel creatively and actually think of it by, seen later on.
I was thinking,
we need to find the keys. We need to get the keys off the father.
I was thinking something,
to open the cells. And hey, wait, we have a time machine. We can just later, after we freed everyone, use the time machine to get the keys and place them somewhere, like right over there, and then they're there. But you never see the actual thing of them getting the keys.
Yeah, that's kind of a parody joke part of that sort of genre of storytelling. That's totally cool.
Yeah, but no other time travel shit does that. They just forget about their paradoxes.
I was thinking of something which is universal, like violence or sex or sexual innuendo. Like, I don't know if you guys know the anime Shimoneta? And it's basically not a futuristic world, but a world where dirty jokes don't exist. You can't make...
Oh, right, that one. I wanted to watch that.
You can't make jokes. You can't, like, there's a panty thief girl running around. She's got panties on her face to cover her face. And there's some characters in there that are so repressed that they act over-the-top sexual. And it's like, okay, that is a bit too much. Because in a world where everyone's repressed, you might have characters like that and how that works. So the stupid thing about it is one of the girls is super strong. Like, she's so repressed, she becomes superhuman, and she, like, does a lot of stupid shit. So that could be cringy to some people over the fact that, you have this extremely horny girl breaking things because she wants to get off by some guy she likes in a world where you're not allowed to do that. So it's like you have to go to the basics of things which are embarrassing. So, pooping your pants, sexual scenarios, mistakes you make, like falling down. There's all kinds of scenarios which are comical, but also kind of like, ooh, that doesn't look good. It's kind of like, ew, that makes you go, that looks painful, or something like that. It does not make you feel comfortable is what I'm getting at, the universal concepts. And I wanted him to hopefully address that like a broad brush so he doesn't have to analyze everything specifically, which he's doing, unfortunately, without a proper lens. Anyway.
These tropes being so laughably bad, they're commonly mocked and made fun of in the anime communities, and people enjoy the stories because of the patheticness of certain aspects of them, which proves audiences can see things that are awkward and harmful to stories and still enjoy them.
Well, just be the new king of trashy isekai, and it's by far the most goddamn fun I've had in the genre for years.
But some stories don't receive the privilege of being sillified and are scrutinized for it, which is seriously suspicious and superbly strange.
No, because it's just bad. Look at this fucking frame. This is just evil.
Look at this image.
This is just evil bad.
The whole context is, I think, Shaggy... No, I'm not calling this fucking creature Shaggy.
This just shows Velma... This Velma is psychotic.
She's literally talking over Fred's dead mother there. What a lovely character.
Who is the villain? In the show, I think if I remember correctly, she was like... What was it? She was trying to, like, put a brain in Fred's body or something like to make him smarter or something like that.
There was no build up to this, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we have multiple scenarios happening here. We have the death of a mother figure. Everyone's covered in a very violent fashion. Everyone's freaking out. So the tone is completely off. And then you have Velma twerking, and she's looking like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like this is a mixed message. Like, this is why I talk about clarity when you have a scene in a story. You want...
In fact, this is the self-insert of the author.
I don't know what...
This is not the actual Velma character. This Velma has the self-insert of character of the author.
Who knows what was going through their heads when they wrote this? But there's so many mixed messages, and to get like comedy in the face of violence, like talk about like Monty Python, where they're chopping off each other's arms, and he's like, "Oh, me a flesh wound." That's like, oh, he's so confident. He doesn't care if he gets his arms or legs chopped off.
That's amusing.
Right, but that's the thing. There's comedy with violence, and it's not,
Yeah, this is just violence and gloating over the violence.
This is a really gruesome scene of discovering who the bad guy is. Happens to be someone's mother. It's disgusting.
Because in Holy Grail, King Arthur didn't actually want to further mutilate the Black Knight.
Right.
That's what made it funny. Like no, I don't want to fight. You don't have any arms anymore.
He starts praying,
and then he starts charging him, and
and taunting him still.
Yeah. So
every show written by Mindy Kaling is just Mindy Kaling. That's all her character is. It's just, I hate white men, but secretly love them. That's not creepy at all to do something like that, you know?
It's like the I'm Not Starfire comic. It's the same style of cringy self-insert.
She even made an uncomfortable joke on the Stephen Colbert show, I think, or one of the late night things, saying, "Oh, I like one of these stagehand guys. But if he told on me for kissing him, I get his job fired." It's like, you're a predator, lady. You're not funny. This is
genuine evil. This is genuinely malicious. Admission to malice. No, and admission to a lack of remorse, a lack of conscience. God, English.
She's a lovely old fetish.
Conscience.
All right.
Rain.
Oh no.
Life is strange. If you're not familiar with this story, the main characters, two girls named Chloe and Max. Max has time powers, and with it she has to use them to stop bad things from happening in her town.
And the other has borderline personality disorder powers.
I have to try something. I won't be able to rewind again and again.
But the problem people mainly have with this story is Max's partner in crime. She's the paragon of what people hate and find cringe.
It is also cringe of Max to keep associating with her and not dumping her for her bloody stupidity and causing all the problems.
You could argue
that is cringe.
You could argue,
and it's not just a blue-haired stupid girl.
Well, Max's character she's lonely and she wants friends, so she'll accept whatever she gets.
Oh no!
So she'll latch onto a psychopath.
No, they were best friends from childhood. That's what makes it even worse, you know.
Oh dear.
Well, she wasn't always like
selfish
this,
asshole.
But yeah, but no, you guys are right.
Okay.
No selfish asshole. But what pisses people's yoinks the hardest is her dialogue, and the dialogue in this story as a whole, which people think is extremely juvenile, annoying, and cringe.
It's bombarding you with the worst dialogue known to man.
Dialogue in this game is unrealistic and nobody talks like that, which isn't...
I would disagree with that. I have met such people, and it is scary. They are insane.
True, but it's still the cringiest shit I've ever heard.
The dialogue in Life in Tumblr, I can say without exaggeration, is some of the worst I've seen in the media.
You and that blue-haired you need an alpha male, baby.
Release the crack can.
Why don't you go fuck yourself,
I mean, you can understand why from these clips. And to be honest, the writers didn't have to choose such an easily irritating, corny dialect that's used for a lot of the major...
Look, if it's so bad as we see it, why was it such a success? There's an audience for this crap, and not the hate play audience, or hate watch audience, because that's just watching a streamer cringe at playing the game. But that's not a lot of people. There have to be actual people who did enjoy this, that are the majority of who made this game money, the studio. So, what do they think about this?
The dialogue is so jarring to hear because it's very insistent and realistic to only a small amount of people. So it makes the characters seem like puppets created to say nonsensical nothingness, which makes it harder for people to become endeared to them and take them seriously in general. I can easily see why it's annoying and makes people less receptive of the story in general. But let's take a step back, breathe in, and look at this from a non-perspective.
My step douche has a boatload of tools. I know my step dork can be scary. And be careful of step crack. Unless you want to hang out with me. Welcome to the real step douches of Arcadia Bay.
Chloe is literally referring to her stepdad with derogatory superhero names that are all made up off the dome. Like, is that not an inherently laughable concept? The characters are constantly spewing silly slang and saying #low random bullshit.
You are such an evil biatch. I love it. I won't let you down, Batmax.
Ready for the mosh pit.
Okay, you have forgotten that you were a teenager once. Teenager language changes the fastest through the generations. Like basically every few years, it's different. There's different words. The words we grew up with, they don't use anymore. Or, well, sometimes there's one that makes it into common lingo. But there can very well be some place where some of these words are used, and yes, it's just all thrown together. Because you know what? Teenager language is cringe. It always is, in every generation. So, I don't take offense to that. It is horrible to listen to, yes. But man, you just need to get a bit older, and then, I don't know, if you ever have kids and you visit the school, just listen. Listen to the conversations on the schoolyard.
Well, I always like
you
to
will
imagine,
cringe.
We talk about stories like, would this story or would this game be beneficial if suddenly 100 ninjas fell out of the sky to make it better? Now imagine the opposite. If we took out the fantastical element of time travel or controlling time, the story is about a bunch of girls at a prep school going through teenager issues. So what's the interesting thing? What's the gameplay element? There's really nothing there. You're just going through scenes of dialogue with voice acting in a 3D world as Max. So is that enough? And if it is, then you have to analyze what the context is, what the scenarios are like. Is it believable? Does all this make sense? And it probably wouldn't if you didn't have this magical element of, well, I'm here to watch and observe and make sure no one gets hurt, and I can rewind time to step in the way and blah, blah, blah. So there's a little bit of heroism on behalf of the player saying, oh, this is a weird bunch of girls sitting together in a dorm. I don't get it too much, but I like the fact that I can help people. I could learn about people through time manipulation. So that to me is the appeal of the game. But the rest of it is
until you get to the ending where you basically undo everything you did.
There's the problem with the storytelling as a whole, not necessarily the game or the premise or the dialogue. It's just, oh, you are causing a catastrophe. You got to change this. And it's like, oh. So yeah, there's a lot, like it was all a dream sort of bit, that sort of ending.
You make it all a dream.
Yeah, there's a combination of things that, like, if they didn't have that, if the only problem was just the dialogue, we would laugh at it for the dialogue, and the game would be fun. The game would be like, hey, this is kind of cool. You get to control time, help people out, and these girls are a little quirky. Maybe they're in like a very, I don't know, sheltered private school in California.
They went this insane.
Yeah, it's completely a timepiece. You have no clue where this could be in the real world, and it's the French imagination working wonders. So that would be interesting. I'd love to see this quirky American satire or whatever you want to call it. But it's not.
I think it's definitely something is definitely bad cringe when it's not intended to be cringe.
I don't know.
But happens as such, which is Life is Strange.
When you look
it was not intended to be cringe.
When you look at The Room,
but man,
it was intended to be a hard drama, and then you realize the writing was so bad that you just laugh at all the scenarios. And then on top of that, the set design, the 3D stuff, the special effects, the lines of like everything just keeps compounding as a silly experience, even though it was professionally done. So it's a combination of all these things that make it a horrible experience. And if it was just the dialogue, you'd be like, this is goofy.
No, I just think the whole plot itself is just a fucking waste. Because, wow, you got time travel powers. What are you gonna do with them? Oh, you're gonna waste them. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
this
mean,
is a very-
I played this game. I played this game just to see where the story was gonna go, and I'm like, okay, we solved a murder. We got this guy committed, and then you gotta undo everything. Like everything that's led up to this, you gotta undo it, and it's like,
Goes all for
so
naught.
what was the point? What was the point?
Because the endings go either what was the point or oh great, you made the most selfish decision in the world.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
literally-
The point to undo it.
The escalation was horrible. The escalation was horrible. It's like, I'm sorry, like the game acts like the world is going to come to an end because I saved one person's life. It's like there's 2 moons in the sky. It's like, how the fuck does that how does that happen?
Going on during that whole time there?
Causality is breaking apart.
I know, but it's like, yeah, because I stopped somebody from getting shot. It's like now the world is going to come to an end. Like, what the fuck? How does that?
Technically, resetting everything is the correct choice, even though they didn't go with that.
Right. No, I get that.
But and that is that Max learns that changing reality is not leading to good outcomes, because while Chloe is alive, she is the most horrible person imaginable. While as she was disabled, yeah, she was disabled, but she was a better person
for the most part.
Yeah. But she was a humble, better person. She was more sane, and I think that
that sequence.
Yeah, you are disabled, but it is still preferable to being an absolute psychotic monster that, well, shoots dogs.
Yeah, that sequence wasn't great either, because it's like, okay, she does that, and yes, Chloe is disabled and she's a better person. I don't think they're friends, or they haven't been friends in a while, and now Max is hanging out with the school bully. Yeah. And it's wait, how does that...
Yeah,
go ahead, Wes.
The interpretation I went with early on about this game was that the entire thing was in her head. It was just her coping fantasy, her coping escapist fantasy to deal with the situation of Chloe being shot. And the resetting everything leads all back to that moment where she accepts the reality that had just happened. And that would be smart writing, but that's not what they did.
Apparently, the selfish ending's wait, is it the selfish ending that's canon? I forget what that.
I think it is, because they made a. I think it was referenced in the comic book. I think
there
was a comic book.
Horrible. Oh, good.
No, the sequel where it was the 2 brothers. I think the town is destroyed.
Oh, what a horrible, selfish. Fuck this game.
Yeah, keeping Chloe alive that's a selfish choice.
And apparently everybody dies.
You sacrifice you sacrifice everyone for this horrible person.
Yeah, nobody thought to leave town when a tornado was bearing down on the town on the city. It's
this
like,
hellish.
Really, you all died. Okay, wonderful, great. You idiots, you deserved it.
All right.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Shaka bra. Preach it, sister.
Just try to engage with it from an unserious, lighthearted perspective, because it's not serious at all. To me, the dialogue is realistic and really entertaining. And I'm not saying you should just start accepting everything you find cringe or corny. We're obviously entitled to how we feel, but maybe next time you find something corny or cringe, just try to go at it from a different perspective. And while I definitely know it may be hard to engage with stories differently in this way, at least trying can make your experiences with media much more enjoyable. And plus, cringe is actually a showcase of skill on the writer's side.
No.
What?
I engage with the show the way I want to.
What was that last sentence? Let me rewind that.
With stories differently in this way, at least trying can make your experiences with media much more enjoyable. And plus, cringe is actually a showcase of skill on the writer's side. If a writer is capable enough to write for a more diverse spectrum of emotions, it makes the story replicate real life that much more, making it...
Wait, so now cringe is good?
Wait, okay, it depends, because there's certain elements of writing which writers sort of, you can't get anywhere else. Jack Kerouac. Who's the guy who wrote Fight Club? I can't remember his name.
I can't remember either.
He was like in a writer's club, and he was with talking about stories that he either experienced himself or he embellished. And he was talking about this really messed up scene. It was this sexual masturbatory scenario about anger and a bunch of other things. Like, it was really like, you can't make this up. Someone have to live that. So these sorts of elements, which are so a combination of things that are very human and very unique. Yes, there are writers who can do that, and it's hard to find that. But this is like, once in every writer will have that one story that's excellent because it has those elements, or that one element of uniqueness. And sometimes it involves violence and crime and sex and God knows anything regarding the human condition, put in a certain way that oh my God, that sounds so real, even though it could be completely fake. So yes, there are those elements. But to say they're cringe, and this is genius, and this is amazing, it's like, well, no. It is something that is like poetry. It sort of sparkles on the page, and you know it when you read it, and everyone has a favorite book or a favorite movie that really speaks to you. And for me, it's The Princess Bride. I don't know why. There's so many memes. There's so many quotes from there that are easily usable and relatable, even though a lot of the plot makes little sense. There's some plot holes in there. The scenario is kind of dumb. The characters are over the top. But it just resonates with me, even though I know the whole story is made up and it's all just for fun. So what he's talking about is very specific, and I don't even think he's talking about the reference of ideas of creativity from a writer to give us unique concepts.
And with well-used cringe moments in writing. That was the anime part we talked about before.
Uncomfortable moments is
they use
fun.
it as a direct tool.
Right, and when you do watch a movie like Fight Club or read a Fight Club, there are some revelatory scenarios where, like, wow, this is really, pushing the envelope of what I expected from a violent group of men to get along and assert their masculinity and all this other wonderful stuff that you get from the book. But it's through violence, and it's through this downplay of civilization as we know it. So there's all this beautiful stuff and symbolism in these stories, and that's a perspective. But a feminist will look at this and say, "This is horrible. This is disgusting. This is a bunch of men beating the shit out of each other. This is barbaric," and all this other stuff, which could be true from a certain perspective. So I understand what he's trying to say. You should change your perspective, which is what we all should do whenever we analyze something. We have to step away and go, wait a second, what is Steven Universe for real? Yes, it could be this simple comedy show about a guy having 3 mothers and blah, blah, blah. But what are the writers trying to do? What's the goal here? And you can see the veneer very clearly. So yes, there are other perspectives, and you have to take those all into account until you come to your conclusion. And that's totally fair. But people are not stupid, okay? The average viewer may not understand. It's just Steven Universe, just a bunch of guys with, eyeballs that look like Odango Otamas or whatever they're called, the meatballs in Japanese culture. So it's fine, but don't be fooled just because it's a surface level analysis. There's a lot more to it. So to subjugate or to eliminate cringe and say, well, just get through it, it gets better. It's like, no. We know why it's cringe. We have reasons. Unless those reasons are dispersed. And, if a feminist comes at me and starts saying, well, no, this is really about feminine empowerment. And you're like, is it? Is it really about that? Or are you stretching the truth there just because you like some political message in one of the episodes? Anyway.
feel more believable and alive. Cringe happens in real life all the time. And I don't think we should be so volatile towards this emotion because we aren't for other negative emotions. For example, if something in a story makes somebody sad, that's bad in a good way. But cringe is just bad in a bad way. And I don't think it has to be like that. But obviously...
But it is. That's the
It
point.
can be bad in a good way. That is when it's done right.
Yeah.
When it's not accidental and executed well.
This is why we like Walter White from Breaking Bad. He's an anti-hero. He's doing something.
But is he cringe?
Well,
I wouldn't say so.
No, I'm not going that far. I'm saying that there's like we like villains sometimes, even though we know they're pure villainous, but they're written well. We like those.
I think Saul Goodman's first appearance in Breaking Bad looks cringe because he's this sleazy, slimy, stereotypical TV lawyer guy that you think like this is a play on the boat merchant in Monkey Island.
Sure. So there's reasons why we like a scene, and there's reasons why we like a scene which is inherently bad or a character is inherently evil when it's produced well. And it's sold as, oh, this guy's great. Othello is great. I love this character, Iago. He's completely villainous, but he's the opposite of Othello. He uses his words and his cunning as opposed to his strength. It's like, oh, that's a perfect villain. Like, we need that in these stories. But to say, oh, cringe is bad in a bad way, it's like, yeah, it's not just that, but it's certainly part of that.
To the internet. We all know the internet afflicts us with a Baader-Meinhof effect, which causes us to believe things exist more than they actually do.
What? There's an effect named after Baader-Meinhof? Published November 2022. Refers to the false impression that something happens more frequently than it actually does. It's often occurs when we learn something new. Suddenly, this new thing appears to be more frequent, when in reality, it's only our awareness of it that has increased. What does this have to do with the fucking Red Army?
So the frequency of a thing, because you're made aware of it, you think occurs more.
Yeah, I'm reading the example below.
So what? Suppose that you decide to buy a car and you have set your mind on a specific blue model, and the next few days you see the blue color wherever you go. It feels like suddenly everyone is driving a car in that color. Why don't you bring up the example that where the name comes from? Because that's about left-wing terrorism. In Germany. That happened. And we had a social democrat chancellor who wasn't taking shit from these guys. He was one of the very few social democrats who did not like socialists, which is very rare. And what the fuck? 2022. How?
Yeah, this is. Yeah,
I'm
and
just
it's
looking.
November
Is
of
this
2022,
insanity?
So this is very recent.
Is naming this effect after, because this is an effect. The effect exists psychologically because you focus on a pattern. But why name it after Baader-Meinhof? Is this some psyop thing where you try to tell people, well, actually, the left-wing terrorism, blowing up things, that wasn't actually that much? No? You were just seeing things.
Apparently, this was created in 1994. So
that's still... Oh. That's still too young, but...
Yeah, I know. It's just... he's just trying to say that because you're aware of something, you think it happens a lot. It's like, no, we know when a show is cringe, and we know why it's cringe. And we have a definition that explains why something doesn't work and why it makes you want to turn the show off or just completely disregard it because you know you're not going to get anything worthwhile dramatically or comically from it. You're wasting your time. You're listening to someone's public couch trip or someone's on some soapbox or whatever the case may be. So you know when to put the book down, you know when to stop watching. There's lots of scenes like that in books I like. in shows I've seen. So it does happen.
Instance of stupid TikTok challenges, insanely esoteric freak-ass content, and people that actually find 42069 jokes funny. And even worse, these platforms over-dramatize things, which is a terrible combo in general, and of course for the stories we consume. And there have been huge victims of this from all across different mediums, for not so good reasons sometimes, but also for good reasons sometimes. You guys might remember the Boyfriends webtoon, which literally everyone, no matter who or what they were, was dunking on and hating earlier this year.
No, I missed that.
I never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
And it perfectly exemplifies how a writer can turn off people from a story entirely. Ideally, you want to hook an audience, but if the hook and selling points are things that are widely agreed to be cringe, you can be alienating and discouraging a lot of people from interacting with your work. Even gay people, the intended audience, thought this webtoon was corny as hell and cringe. To me, personally, the webtoon was really inoffensive. It's just a bunch of fertile, fruity femboys just being quirky, you know? Boyfriends.
Fertile, fruity. Okay.
Okay. Wait. You complained about Nagato looking like pedophilia, which is teenagers in school, in high school, and this stuff, this gay stuff, that's now totally fine and cool with actual sexual scenes, not just innuendo, but actual sexual interaction. Are you a pedophile? Are you secretly a pedophile? That's why you dunk on Nagato. Because a lot of Western pedophiles seem to dunk on anime in order to virtue signal, but I'm against pedophilia. And then they show us this stuff that they're into and tell us that this is totally fine and innocent. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm glad we never heard of this so that we can have a raw mention. It's like, whoa, dude, slow down.
Yeah,
do we get some? Is this going to be just some guy moment?
Fertile, fruity, fembo. What fucking sentence is this?
Alliteration. More
that
F
sounds
words,
like
sir.
the name of a hentai. That sounds like the name of a hentai. You know,
some advice. Don't let the other black guys around you know that you're gay.
Oh well, it's too late now.
See, it seems to lead to criminal action.
All right. Well, this is a strange take, but okay. Let's just go with it.
Also, the internet enhances certain trends in storytelling. That's why you see writing focused on quirkiness going so strong. It's a type of writing that's either loved or hated, no in between, meaning it garners much attention from a broader demographic. And I'm no crazy conspiracy theorist, but I think companies realize this and also realize it creates free marketing. So they keep investing in and creating stuff like the new Superman show, The Owl House,
Bleep, bloop, bleep.
Netflix's Nimona.
The what?
In fact, they're
That's just typical millennial humor.
So focused on prioritizing quirky and or cringe writing that sometimes they forget to craft a good narrative. By the way, here are some good webtoons. Don't let one bad one turn you off from the entire medium. But despite
Wait a second. His concept is it generates views in social media and has free marketing. That's why they keep making it or making stuff like that.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. I zoned out. I have no idea what he's talking about at this point.
Yeah, he's just trying to say all these cringy shows are made because they get free marketing from the internet because it gets shared around as cringe, I guess. I don't understand.
Yeah, and he's advertising ones. Yeah, and he's advertising ones that he thinks are not cringe.
Right.
Isn't that the Wednesday show where they butchered the German when she's trying to insult the customers when giving them chocolate?
I don't know.
They
I
showed.
recall seeing a clip somewhere on that.
Well, they showed the first few seconds of the dance, the famous dance scene of Wednesday, which was made into a meme.
Yep.
Everything, this webtoon undoubtedly did solidify itself a strong identity, even if it did make itself into a laughingstock. Humor is something that is very easily found cringe, the very nature of comedy.
No, it's not.
No, that's just. I think you're just embarrassed about what you like.
Yeah. To say comedy is cringe is like saying drama is sad. No, it's not.
the way he overuses cringe and cringes at everything, it seems, I would deduce from that he is embarrassed at liking things that he doesn't know whether it's acceptable in his social group to like them.
It's like kind of like watching Critical Drinker, and this is what I saw from Hassan. He's like, "Wait, is this guy right wing?" Because he agreed with Critical Drinker's assessment. He's like, "Wait, do I agree with a right winger?" I'm like, "Oh no, can't say that." You can like comedy, and sometimes it doesn't hit with you. Sometimes I've seen some female comedians that just don't work for me. I just go, ugh, not for me, and don't listen.
Yeah, and he showed Kevin Hart on there. I don't like Kevin Hart because he tells the same joke over and over and over again. Look how short I am. Look how short I am. Look how tall you are. Look how tall you are. It's the same joke over and over and over again. And I'm like, enough, dude. Get some better material. You know, that's just me. You know, and even Family Guy, I kind of have like, I wouldn't say a love-hate relationship with. Like, I love some of the stuff that they do, and other times I'm just like, eh.
Yes, that's deliberate by the show. That is the point of the show.
Well,
I know, but
that is deliberate cringe.
The nature of comedy, especially stand-up, either Kevin Hart or whomever, is highly subjective. They could have the same set. I remember stories from comedians. They'll have the same set over the span of 4 days. They're in a city and they move to another one, and the same jokes, exactly the same jokes, and each set will hit differently on each day depending on the crowd. And
Family Guy reminds me of a specific, usually Western cringe joke that is easily played, and you can play it inoffensive technically, and that is the too drawn out joke, like the taking a piss for too long, for 2 minutes, or Freakazoid barfing because there's something really horrible was just done or said, and then he's done, and then he does it again and again. Austin Powers does that one as well, in the form of usually with Dr. Evil, with the continued interruption. And Red Letter Media loves this stuff. The drawn out joke. It's I don't know, they're in love with it. And Family Guy does this as well. And that is cringe humor. That itself. But it's the usually the non-sexual version of it.
Okay.
Can have you react to it in a multitude of ways. Tell me, how did you react to that? And the misuse of humor can be quite awkward. It can destroy the tone of a story, breaking the immersion of certain scenes or character moments. A personal favorite of mine being from a Disney cartoon similar to Gravity Falls called Amphibia. Hell of a Boss is a controversial show with an insane fandom.
Please just hear me out on this one. I guarantee you I'm not the only one currently thinking these things. Hell of a Boss is a pretty massive problem with its storytelling.
Does it? What is this? Ableist harassment is critique because I'm cis. I'm not. spread lies about me, accuse me of crimes with no evidence, victim blame me, and refuse to apologize. Yeah, well, it has a standard socialist activist, insane cluster B personality disorder audience that you also saw with Steven Universe and some other cartoons. But I don't know how many. I don't know how far I watched that, but the writing seemed pretty okay for being in hell with tons of innuendo, and the humor is very inspired by Jonan Vasquez, but with the innuendo on top of that, and it seemed to work pretty well as far as I watched, but I have to look up how far it actually was. What I do remember is that then the usual stuff came out of the creator of the show, like the head of the project, being an absolute ass and paying staff in pizza or some bullshit. I don't remember the details. But it's very. I remember it being quite hilarious crap. So that would be actual cringe, but that's the meta cringe of the show. Yeah, the left is a horrible audience. They don't like any critique to anything they like because they seem to be unable to distinguish between the thing and themselves. So if you criticize the thing, they take that as a personal attack or something.
Well, I like the second one. Dismissed my critiques because I'm cis, when he's saying I'm not. Like,
yeah, what are you?
What is this need to publicly announce I'm not a normal person? It's like, oh, so we should take your criticism normal.
Yeah, because when you're not a normal person, you're part of the protected class. You're part of the transcended proto philosopher's stone, the proto magnum opus that will help us transcend to become God collectively.
You're right. The higher level rationalization, because if I
smart boy. I wish I was exaggerating, but that's what they literally believe in the higher circles.
It's a funny thing to defend yourself. They thought I was a normal person, but I'm not.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually did that to a friend of mine like years ago. I live in Michigan, so I once heard like on the radio they were talking about our mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, who's a piece of shit. And I said, man, and my friend who was who's black, I said, man, Kilpatrick, he's a piece of shit, man. He goes, oh, and my friend goes, oh, you just don't like him because he's black. That's racist. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I am. I just said that just to get his reaction. And he looked at me, eyes wide, mouth open, and I laughed in his face, like, you believed me? You stupid fuck.
Yeah, you know what is it? That would the equivalent in a physical fight would be, running past a punch and just into his face, like not defending but leaning into your enemy. Like, they don't tend to expect that.
All right, well, this is something we could just forget and keep going.
Great.
Yeah, let's keep going.
It's a loyal legion of haters.
When you tell me find characters cramming 100 swear words and 50 porn jokes into their sentences unfunny and annoying. Well, I thought you liked porn stuff. You just showed us a gay porn show with teenagers. So suddenly you don't like porn jokes? I'm confused. I was just confused by it's late. That was the comic relief character.
Alright, sluts, get ready to suck a lot of pig dick.
I have like a rainbow in my vagina right now.
I think we can all understand why. The show relies on simple-minded, juvenile, sometimes forced, absurd humor with a heft daily serving of low-tier, very blatant, and uninspired sex jokes. It always goes something.
I'd say those shows are actually okay, considering their sex jokes. But you're really confusing here, because all the other critique is what is fitting the other examples you brought up.
And isn't this another person, like another social media guy? It's not him? So
Oh, is this not the guy we're watching?
I don't think so.
I'm confused.
No, because he cites the person that he references in the lower left-hand corner. So I think this is him that he's talking. I don't know.
Yeah.
When he plays their video, he cites the video in the left-hand corner, like the name of the person and the name of the video.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe.
Like the characters will just be doing whatever, and then Blitz will come in and be like, wow, I just injected so much liquid gay porn into my veins. The way this show uses the most uninspired raunchy humor is almost like a kink.
Yeah, it's all about sex jokes. You are very smart to notice that. I want to say,
Blitz will come in and be like, wow, I just injected so much liquid gay porn into my veins. The way the show uses the most uninspired raunchy humor is
the gay romance between these two characters and is actually surprisingly well written, because it's also supposed a family drama of cheating, and it's actually an interesting dynamic, which completely surprised me. I thought this was just a stupid comedy show, but it's for a written by one of these crazy left-wing activist types. It's someone who can actually write characters.
All right.
I don't know what his problem is.
Almost like random people on the internet with no interest or experience writing that just have simple editing skills literally show us that sex jokes can be creative.
Come with me. I want you to come with me. Yes, shit. Yes, thank you so much.
This is interesting.
Is this supposed to be an example of a positive version of a sex joke that works?
That was supposed to be interesting?
Wait. The more important question is, why are we on the Titan? Why is the Titan here?
Is this supposed to be a working joke, or is this because he's complaining about Hell of a Boss being not creative or well written, and he thinks this is creatively well written? Or I'm confused, because this is garbage.
Yeah.
So what excuse do people that get paid for this have? And sometimes Hell of a Boss just goes over fucking board.
Fuck me in my little red hole! Alright, the fuck you looking at? B-U-L-L shit. O-T-H-E-R fuckers. How the fuck you fuck up that bad anyway, titty haver? The hell bees shot, you fucking
Yeah, that's cringe and obnoxious.
Why is he blurring out every other swear word, but keeping most of them in?
That's funny.
And the hard part. Say it, you coward.
I don't know.
So is this good or bad?
Maybe he dislikes Hell of a Boss because the characters do actually face consequences, while and his stupid memes don't.
Anyway,
maybe that's what it is.
I'm not sure
maybe
if he likes this or dislikes this. He's saying it's cringe. It's like, okay, fine. Is that bad? Because he just previously said it's okay. You have to embrace the cringe and get past it. I'm like, oh, okay, so
yeah. And unless he doesn't like the cringe, if he doesn't like the cringe, it's bad, and we should all hate it.
He's just jumping around, and I'm like, what's the message of the video? It's just here's cringe, here's not cringe, here's cringe I like, cringe is okay, here's another cringe I don't like. You're like, yeah, is that good or bad, dude?
I think he's stuck so much in a subjective state that he doesn't notice that he's irrational.
And I thought that this was based off someone else's video, not his opinion. So now he's incorporating that opinion? I don't know. I'm lost.
Help.
And just doesn't age well and takes barely any skill to write, which people hate, of course. I mean, this is the type of stuff only written by edgy 14-year-olds that have no other mental capacity except to be potty-mouthed brats. And a lot of...
No, I would say Hell of a Boss was written at least by 17-year-olds.
Okay.
Velma, yeah, that's 14.
Writers seem to either not realize or don't care that some forms of shock humor have diminishing returns, so naturally it becomes cringe and boring over time. Rick and Morty fans have realized this.
Like the space sperm from space.
No, the writing just got really bad. And it started really bad with the mega seats. Like that was already I think in the first episode. That was a reason for me to not give this show more of a chance because it seemed like it would just be anal humor.
That is the weirdest looking front row seats for a car I've ever seen. Just the flat. It comes up to your shoulders.
The wheel is probably not attached either, and Rick is just holding a ring that's floating in the air.
Good job pointing out the important stuff, Smud.
I'm just like, what is this car? Who designed this? How did
this guy's like, this show's cringe, and you're like, oh god, those seats of that car. Ugh.
Where are the seat belts?
Justin Roiland.
Like, all of this does not make any sense.
Oh my god, there are no seatbelts.
Well,
can you even open these doors? Is this a car?
He's not watching the road.
I don't know. Maybe it's Canadian. Like, Smud, you don't wear seatbelts in Canada, right?
No, we are really crazy about safety, so we would.
That's why they have free healthcare.
Why is the front a couch?
Yeah, it looks like a.
Why is the front a back seat?
Someone put a.
Oh yeah, I've seen the back. Wait, no, the back seat is the front seat, but
it's the same thing.
So. I guess it's an automatic.
Oh God! If you imagine,
but the car looks too old to be an automatic.
Would just go snap, and that's okay. Anyway,
help!
I'm the sperm queen.
The problem with Hell of a Boss's style of writing, outside of everything else, is that it makes transitioning into heartfelt, emotional moments or making a character sympathetic a little bit harder. In season 1 of the show,
no, it's actually good. It actually does that really well compared to all of this other shit.
Okay.
Which, as I say again, fucking surprised me.
So we had a scene with Velma where the tone was completely off with one of the characters. This is kind of like what he's talking about, where there's multiple forms of drama happening and they're interlaced. And that can be jarring because you jump from comical, joking, juvenile humor to heartfelt message about love or whatever. So that was difficult to shift because you're thinking or you're feeling and thinking in one way, and all of a sudden you're in another mode. So if it makes sense, it's not jarring. If it's like snap, boom, all of a sudden we're going from a funeral scene where everything's somber to Mardi Gras, then that would be jarring. So it depends. Like this is very specific. We gotta actually see the scene he's talking about.
I definitely saw up to 6, maybe 7.
In one of the show, for 90% of the episodes, the main character, Blitz, is just a rambunctious, vile, vulgar little guy. And in the last episodes of the season, he has this sad-ass, pivotal character moment that gives us more vulnerable insight about.
Those were always hinted at. Were always hinted at. It's not it's nothing surprising that he's been repressing this all the time. He's had these little moments all the time. You blind idiot.
And this overuse of cringe humor creates a neck-destroying whiplash into sincere moments that only someone truly powerful could stop. I really hope you didn't think this video could ever be a thing without talking about the MCU and the unique way its humor and superhero stories interact. The MCU need no...
So this guy just thinks everything is stupid because he couldn't tell something good if he saw it. I hope he brings up a positive example of something.
I want to know how it's destroying these writers, or what is it just like? Is he just saying destroying narratives in general, or just the genre it's in, or like what is he talking about? What's the bad thing that's being destroyed? Because when we talk about Steven Universe or Thundercats Go, you're destroying those. Well, Steven Universe was always that way, but Thundercats Go, you're adapting a thing that is beloved from 30 years ago and changing it into something that it's not for the same audience. So that would be destroying the franchise or the genre or changing things to a different genre. With this, he's just saying, I don't like it. You're like, okay, but does that make it bad, and why? So this is the problem here. So if he was like giving us examples like, well, this show, which he didn't like, the Hell of a Boss, is losing money and everyone's losing their job. It's like, is that happening? I don't know. Did they get renewed? I don't know. Is the reason why it's a cringy show to you is why it's not getting a 4th or 5th season? Like that would be a good thing, because then the writing is no longer continuing and the writers would go elsewhere, or we'll get another show with better writers, supposedly.
He just seems to fall into a very, very basic logic of, I don't like it, therefore it is cringe, therefore it is bad. And then adding that, sometimes it can be good, but he instantly falls back into his basic logic. So the last part is just empty words, because he can't actually apply it.
You have to list the positives in this case, because we know that cringe is a negative thing. We have to say why this is bad and how much of an impact is that badness or whatever that does to the show, to the franchise, to money, to whatever the metric is. Like we look at the Marvel Universe. We always knew the movies of the Marvel MCU were leading to something. There was an overarching plot slowly creeping up on us till we got to Endgame. And that is rather amazing to plan that out, have all that production value, and to accomplish it, because that takes, this movie has to be successful. Then we could fund it to make the next film and as we go. And now when it's not as interconnected, then we see, they no longer have that overarching plot, but they should still have good stories, right? They should have entertaining films.
They would technically have good stories, but they're either distorting them like Thundercats Go, or they're ignoring that they exist. Similar to the Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, so with that example of the MCU, you could argue a lot of the films aren't that great, but they're entertaining by themselves. And then you get the end result, which is Endgame, which is also not the greatest thing in the world, but for whatever it was worth, people enjoyed it. So there has to be this comparison of positives and negatives. And now that the MCU does not have this overarching plot, what are its strengths and why?
There's nothing that holds it together right now.
Well,
that's the problem.
Whatever the case may be, it could be consistency.
You need a red thread that goes through all of
it. You could have another overarching plot. You don't need it, but there should be some
it doesn't even need an overarching plot, but it needs to be a red thread that goes through it.
So
that can eventually blossom into a plot. But you usually start these things with just having some connected things.
Well, you could say that Guardians of the Galaxy was this unknown that sort of integrated itself into that whole storyline because it was so well done. A lot of people liked it, even if you weren't an MCU fan. And it's a fun film. It's a fun series. Yeah. So we can say, yes, there are cringe elements in those films. I certainly remember some awkward moments. So great. Is the overall film bad? No. It's a great experience. So we need to be very specific with scenes. And once you do that, you will see that some of these films are not cringy. There are individual scenes that do not work properly, and there's certain scenes or certain films, I don't know, like non-MCU, like Deadpool. The whole film is a joke, and you get away with that style of humor. So it would not be cringy on the premise alone, on the genre, and you can't use the same evaluation. This is what I'm trying to get at with this, because he's just using this indiscriminately, and he's not narrowing it down. He's just saying, well, this hell of a boss has all this sexual innuendo and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that's fine if it's consistent.
I will always, despite all the other crap, I will break another lance for the writing of that with Blitz that he complained about. With that character is the psychology of the characters is actually done pretty well, and their complexities. With so they're all demons, so they're all deeply flawed characters. They're driven by all their problems and wear them on their sleeves more or less. With Blitz is a good example of somebody who is playing over his insecurities and his emotional bonds and wounds with exactly this angry, dismissive, cold outside that he also shows to his lover. That seems like he's not even emotionally connected to him or dismissive of him or doesn't really like to do any of that, but he always goes back anyway, even if he doesn't have to. And other people play over that with just cracking jokes all the time, with being funny. He does it with this anger and being pissed at everyone, which is more fitting for a demon. So
right.
it fits.
Here is, I don't know, the Caporal, this is out of my knowledge, but Car is a Mormon station wagon. Luna is best girl. What are we talking about?
Luna is the furry girl.
Oh, the wolf girl, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's keep going.
The quality of its movies are of course wildly varying, but one thing that is consistent are people's mixed opinions on its version of D-Funny. Its humor is effective in controlled doses, but can easily be overdosed on. And when it's ineffective, man, it gets bad. The type of stakes Marvel movies usually have, especially post-Endgame, just don't mesh well with the repetitive comedy. Like y'all been crack-a-lacking these corny-ass quips.
Scooby-Doo this crap.
And
you're all being cracker-like?
Wait, could you rewind that for a moment?
I don't think anybody ever said that. I mean, the Scooby-Doo line, yeah, Strange said that, but what was the cracker lackin' whackin'? What was that?
Movies usually have, especially post-Endgame, just don't mesh well with the repetitive comedy. Like y'all been crack-a-lacking these corny-ass quips.
What is cracker-like? What does that mean?
Oh, no, crack-a-lackin'. Oh, it's I think that's a linguo from Madagascar.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's what the...
All right.
I forget.
Crack-a-like.
I thought he was saying
crack-a-lackin'.
Crack-a-lackin'.
I thought he was saying some racist shit about accusing people of being slavers or something.
It sounded racist to me. Crack-a-like.
Yeah, I heard the cracker part, and I was like, wait, what?
Crack-a-lackin'.
Let's try that one more time.
It's bad. The type of stakes Marvel movies usually have, especially post-Endgame, just don't mesh well with the repetitive comedy. Like y'all been crack-a-lacking these corny-ass...
Crack-a-lackin', you're right.
Crack-a-lackin'.
Fair enough.
...ass quips.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo this crap.
And... awkward ass jokes the entire movie or Disney Plus show, even when it's inappropriate. And y'all expect me to seriously be invested in very hefty stakes, like, oh, the entire city could be killed, or the genocide of gods is about to happen, or the world could be destroyed. Like, what? The writers don't show us.
Have you never read American comics? These are even if the adaptations are bad, but that's the stories that run in American comics. Like, what the fuck are you complaining?
I wouldn't say the joke. Sorry, Wisp. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. That's it. What is he complaining about? That's the stories of the comic of U.S. comics.
I would say that. I mean, up until recently, like shows like She-Hulk and all these, like those are cringe. Obviously,
yeah, this is bad. Especially this scene.
Yeah, this is really bad. But I wouldn't say like the jokes like in a lot of the Marvel movies are cringe. Like poorly timed is probably a better phrase. Like, okay, we got to go into battle. We have this battle we're going into where we might all die. Here's the joke. Yeah. And I'm like,
and James Gunn had the timing. James Gunn knew how to do the timing right.
Yes.
And another mistake that they made is that after a certain point, I think it was the everybody loved Tony Stark being snarky. So then every character was basically Tony Stark being snarky.
It's okay when it's Tony,
but
when everyone is Tony,
it's right. But it was okay for Tony because Tony was like that at the start. He was like that from the beginning.
Yeah, that was part of his character. But when everybody is like that, then Tony is not playing off of anyone anymore. Yeah, he's not playing off of anyone. This is why I keep saying, with Thor, they should have kept the stoic out of this culture from first movie, maybe the second.
They should have had it.
This is Valhalla culture, Norse god joke stuff. That is funny because he's playing it all straight.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
He's not making it super serious about everything, and that makes it funny because it's out of place on Earth.
Yeah, have him be the straight man in the comedy situation. Like he doesn't understand the reference. Like they did it in Guardians of the Galaxy with Drax, where Peter Quill's talking to him and he's like
but it's for
using
a
a
different
phrase.
reason. But yes, but
But I'm saying like
I
in
think
that
the
scenario,
thing what you described that would fit in the detail even better with Doctor Strange. That imagine him being having the Sideshow Bob humor. Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons.
Yeah, I know.
The one is just there, and then like stupid stuff happens, and then he just looks disdainful and like, fuck, oh no. But he always keeps his composure.
Well, and to be fair,
with
like
Thor it flies past him, but with Doctor Strange he would notice it. And
I was going to say, to be fair to Doctor Strange, that scene where he says that is Scooby-Doo this crap, he was getting annoyed with Peter and his friends. He's like just do it, damn it, just do it. Fix this shit. He's getting annoyed with them, and yeah, quite frankly, I don't blame him. MJ's being a smartass to him.
Okay, we're at 17 minutes. We got 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
As the audience, that there is anything to take seriously at all, because you've already shown them an abundance of one core emotion, and switching to another one that highly contrasts with that one may have the audience believe that you won't and or can't pull it off.
That's fun. You can do that. It's how you get there. That's the problem. You could have comedy and drama in the same story. That's fine. It's
all about timing.
It's timing, it's pacing, it's all kinds of things.
The stakes are simply there for the superficial mental spectacle and not to actually be executed.
No. A plot requires certain stakes, and you expect them to occur, or else things will, the falling sword of Damocles will kill you. You have to worry about these things. It's how it's presented. So, yeah, we don't want the end of the world. They're trying to stop the end of the world. How does that happen? We need to see that work.
And this is the case for a lot of stories, not just the MCU. Like, seriously, this needs to stop. You can go from silly to serious, but you seriously have to sizzle down the silliness in a gradual manner. But sometimes, ironically, Marvel is the victim. How in the hell does anyone find this scene cringe? Like, I would understand if they said something that could reasonably be called corny or cringe.
Because it's a complete insert for ideological reasons to please the narcissistic feminist. There's no other reason to have the scene with all the girls get it done.
With a story about superheroes, unless it's a girl team, there's no reason of varying superheroes of different powers, of different abilities, who just all happen to be female. It's like, what's the what are the chances
why are they all in? Yeah, and this is in the middle of a battle between armies, and somehow all the female heroes are in one spot.
Yeah, pretty much every female character in the MCU is in this scene.
Yeah, that's the.
They all just
they've been deliberately placed there to have them all in the scene, so that they have to look at all our girl power shot. The characters. Yeah, that's cringe
for the feminists in the crowd.
And nothing else. That is cringe. Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted to see Captain Marvel. Brie Larson. No one wanted to see Brie Larson fall from the sky, except to end in a bloody smear on someone's windshield.
Well, unless there's a scene or a reference beforehand saying we have Team Condor, which is made of all the superheroes of Earth, which happen to be girls, then this would not make much sense. Why they're all organized in such a fashion? So you can't just do stupid crap unless it's cool. Unless there's something like an action scene that warrants this sort of behavior.
Fan service.
Right. So it's just this stupid, this is dumb. There's no other point to do this aside, hey, be smart or fun or silly, get a bunch of girls together while we're fighting a deadly war for the fate of time and space. It's like, okay.
Yeah, meanwhile the guys are getting their asses kicked over there.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Actually breaks immersion or is reasonably distasteful.
It does break
you
immersion.
guys are just cringing disingenuously. They're just standing there in a cool way. And you guys...
No. how dare you question my emotional experience? I cringed genuinely at this scene.
I actually go ahead with
breaking my immersion because I sit there and wonder, why are they all in one place? This is in the middle of a battle between armies. They all have completely different abilities that have their place in different situations in a battle.
I actually kind of cringed when Peter's got the gauntlet and then Captain Marvel appears and she's like, "Hey there, Peter Parker," and I was like, "Ugh, don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. No,
What's that behind your back?
Bad form." Yeah.
All right.
Are mad at it? Can superheroes not get one shot where they do the obligatory cool superhero team pose? The bros?
They didn't do the superhero team pose. It's just, here's all the female characters. Now be appeased, feminazis.
Get to do it all the time.
No, this is not the bros. Do you see that's the female characters here as well?
Yeah, I see Scarlet Witch over there.
Yeah, and we can go back a bit here when we see the whole thing.
Other lady.
Guys are mad at it? Can superheroes not get one shot where they do the...
Yes, sir. Here's
Black Widow's there?
Obligatory cool...
Which is the only one here so
superhero
far.
team pose? The bros...
So, we have the Wakanda girls in the background.
Yep.
Get to time. The ladies can't have it. The ladies can't have any fun now? But no...
It's not about having fun. It's not about, the ladies get the same thing the guys get. There's no reason to do that militaristically, tactically, strategically, storytelling-wise. There's nothing.
Nothing drew them there as well. And some of them can fly, have magic powers, maybe teleport, I don't fucking care, have jetpacks, but some are just on foot. And this is a very big battlefield.
Like, if you have, like, Scarlet Witch make a mistake and she summons all the girls to one area, at least there's a dumb explanation for what happened, and she has magical reality bending powers. They're like, what the heck? How did we get here?
And we would ask her, why did you summon all the girls into one place? Why? Do you need to do some weird woman magic that only women?
It would be a dumb, weird thing of her powers because they're wild and crazy and she can't control them, and that would at least be some dumb reason.
Oh, wait! The stupid I can only use this spell with women helping enchant it. That actually makes fucking sense because that's how the fucking shit works.
Because when you have reality bending powers, you can get away with a lot of crap, and when you see
they could have actually written this into making sense.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean,
if they had cared. Fuck.
Yeah. He's thinking, why can't girls have fun? It's not about that. This is not a scene about girls having fun. This is a goddamn war.
I'm gonna summon a super laser from moonlight, and the moon is associated with the feminine, so I need all the girls to help me chant the stupid spell so we can have the super laser.
Yeah, you may as well summon a bunch of Ewoks. You'd be like, why the hell are the Ewoks here? Like, what are they going to do?
The Ewok just wants fun, Smart. The Ewoks want fun.
They want to have fun killing each other and getting kills. Like, what the... No. Girl battalion, go. Like, what are you going to do?
God, Hollywood is so incompetent.
Anyway.
No matter what you think of the MCU's brand of cringe comedy, it's undeniable that it has an unfaltering influence on pop culture and fiction. The MCU has created an insane and undefeated identity.
Yes, for example, Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok, which is basically just the MCU as God of War, which is absolutely horrible.
For itself through the utilization of cringe. Much like some of the other stories I've mentioned, cringe can create a very strong identity for a story, and in the case of the MCU, it has spawned many imitators trying to achieve the same amount of success. The MCU's comedy has literally taken over everything from big Netflix shows.
I didn't know there were so many pirates. It's terrible. I know, right? Where's my face?
To video games.
That's just standard. That's a standard line. You get that in a lot of situations like that, and you get that in westerns. You get that in anime. What's the thing with that? The timing? The camera?
Maybe because people just don't like adaptations in general on Netflix from anime?
That's not. No. I
Yeah,
don't think
live
that's
action ones. Because they remember how the last one went.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe there could be a bright side because Oda has his his hand on the throats of the Netflix people here. So maybe there's some good can come out.
That's a hope and a dream.
The long gummy arm of Oda.
It was about a giant map.
Oh, it's opening season. You gotta love it. Or not. Whatever you want, I guess.
I'm told to
That's your fault for playing that stupid game.
small talk in awkward moments. So,
You give that game money, you deserve this. You deserve this treatment. You paid money to get this treatment. You wanted it. Now don't complain, because you wanted this. You wanted this all up the whatever orifice it gets.
All right.
things?
Even stories that tonally don't require nor have any reason to use the MCU's brand of comedy have been understandably accused of using it.
We got company back here. Okay. We're almost there, right?
People have become so...
Oh, he didn't notice it.
Wow, one scene.
At least some...
For 5 minutes,
no.
great.
The entire game is full of that. And it rewrites War's history in order to reenact MCU movie scenes.
Yeah, but that was the one scene he picked. It's like, that scene only lasts for like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, you picked one scene that lasts for like 5 minutes. Yeah, great. Okay.
The entire Freya conversations, they are cringe, and it's all this type of humor. It's horrible.
Sensitive and hyper aware of these types of characters in comedy that they've started to call it MCU humor. The MCU, of course, didn't invent this type of comedy, but it did popularize its usage in current American media. And ironically, this type of comedy is becoming so overused and applied in the most basic, non-creative ways that it's decreasing the identity of the stories that use it, ironically branding themselves as more generic. But then again, utilizing cringe can be harmful since people are so volatile towards it. The emotion itself can be a sort of creative risk because we all know people hate emotion sometimes. Steven Universe is a lot of things. A source of fire-ass songs, fine-ass characters.
No.
What?
Bruh moment-ass characters. And of course, unabashed expression of emotions. Steven...
Oh, so here it's good now?
Fine-ass characters?
It's good now, in Hell of a Boss it's not?
Does he mean fine-ass meaning...
If that's what you're into, you know.
I was trying to make a pun.
Does he mean that they are good characters, meaning they're well-written?
He means they're well-written characters.
Okay, because...
They are not well-written characters. Hell of a Boss has well-written characters for one of these shows, but this Steven Universe is just garbage. It's incoherent, self-contradictory garbage.
Well, if he finds them attractive, like, that's subjective. It's based off art style and all kinds of other things. Like, okay, fine, whatever, but what is good about these characters? That doesn't
Nothing.
Make them...
They're all insane.
Okay.
They're all psychologically abusive to each other.
No, but Wisp. They just needed a reason to fuse.
That's what I'm talking about.
Anyway.
Is a silly little guy who's empathetic and emotionally honest, and the cast of characters that surround him are also traumatized and have to learn to deal with that. And I'd bet a decent amount of people that find this specific aspect of Steven Universe cringe are people who have their own personal and emotional issues. Just hear.
Oh, so here that is suddenly the case, and you project this crap, but you don't understand the actual psychology, the good written psychology of Hell of a Boss. I think you are emotionally immature if you can only process Steven Universe, which is badly written. It's just badly written, man.
Me out. Our own experiences shape how we perceive and interact with media, obviously, and vulnerable emotional expression is something lots of people are adverse to or have trouble with. A study I found shows that the more people feel uncomfortable emotions, the more likely they are to criticize or disapprove of them. And I know this is something that happens because I...
Wait, what was that? Because that sounded like he has a narcissism problem. Well, a team of researchers found evidence of comfortable emotions and disapproving of them. what a surprise. The results revealed that the more people felt difficult emotions, the more they opposed them. Oh, wow, I would have never guessed such. At the same time, the results also showed that the more people opposed uncomfortable emotions, the more they felt them. Yeah, it's like pain. When you try to push the pain away, it feels worse. And when you start accepting the pain, it actually fades out. It's great.
Rubbing your eye. Don't do that.
Yeah. Or when you are in surgery and at the dentist and your sedatives are starting to wear off. Just accept the pain and it will be less horrible. You can do it. The research indicates the value of accepting difficult emotions, though it needs to be replicated with a broader population. Okay.
This is too generic. The study would have to be specific to what they were testing for. So stuff like this, the psychological batteries happen all the time. They mean next to nothing unless you have a specific thing you're testing for. The paradox of rejecting uncomfortable emotions, this could mean anything from working out too much or...
It's not a paradox. It's a natural reaction.
Yeah, this is
like,
painful.
Oh, I don't want pain. Don't want pain.
Pain is bad. Yeah, when you're working out,
pain bad,
you
get away.
expect some sort of discomfort when you're working out because you're tearing the muscles in your body apart and rebuilding them. So you kind of expect that when you're exercising, so you keep doing it. It's like, this is normal. But waking up in the middle of the night and your abdominal muscles are bleeding, that's probably something to avoid.
I don't want that either. That's like, I want to get away from that. I don't want that emotion either. But the issue is mainly with emotional pain, emotional distress. And when you are someone who feels that through being confronted with your own errors, with your own flaws, then you need to accept those emotions, because that will actually allow you to process through that. First, accept the existence of those flaws, and then you will be able to fix them, to grow over them, instead of because if you just keep rejecting that, well, then you can't outgrow anything, because you're not even accepting that there is a flaw. And that is what happens a lot with the immature. Sometimes we call these people narcissists, or some of them, and that's a lot what this cringe writing comes from. Because those people, they will not accept that there's anything wrong with them, and that their writing is totally perfect, and the show is not made for us, so we should stop complaining. And when the show fails, they say, "Well, for not watching it, you bigots."
Yeah, the show is made for the creator. Like, that's great. What were they making it for? Who was their demo? Because you can't just say it's their creative vision. They can do whatever they want.
The whole world, because I make perfect things, and therefore everyone will love it.
Oh yeah, it's a show for the.
And when it then fails, well, that's the fault of the people. They're wrong. They're simply wrong for not liking what I made.
Or what's that one now that's circulating with The Witcher, where it's like, oh, well, we didn't think you'd understand it, so we had to dumb it down for you.
Oh, yeah. Really?
It's like,
but I don't want it dumbed down.
Wow, yeah, thanks.
State-enforced public watchings of Velma and High Guardians.
Anyway, we got almost a minute.
We got a minute left. Yeah, we got a minute left.
Feel uncomfortable emotions, the more likely they are to criticize or disapprove of them. And I know this is something that happens because I sometimes find myself cringing at sentimental and vulnerable character moments. And I've realized I cringe at scenes like this because I repress my emotions sometimes. So I cringe at the sight of someone else expressing theirs, even in real life sometimes, because I can't imagine myself doing that. And I'm not the most unique individual ever, so I know this is the case for others. So no, stories like Steven,
I think you have a deeper problem when you cringe at the scenes that you just showed.
I think you're a psychopath is the problem.
I wouldn't say no. I don't think he's a psychopath.
I cringe at emotion.
Yeah, but psychopath doesn't need to repress that necessarily. I think he's just generally emotionally repressed and immature, and he needs to grow out of that.
Yeah.
It's a bit, no, honestly, it's a bit weird to have your script saying, you know, I'm emotionally repressed. Let's talk about why I cringe at moments that I shouldn't. You're like, okay. So you've realized your problem.
Oh, look. This comes again back to why he likes the stupid gay show and why he thinks Steven Universe is well written and hates Hell of a Boss. Because Hell of a Boss actually walks you through the emotional processing of these things.
I also want to know, like, he showed a clip earlier of like two people embracing in a playground look like it, and he says, I cringe when I first found this footage. I'm like, well, why?
Why are they
wait. He likes the gay teenagers smooching in public, like several of them at the same time. But he cringes at a man and a real life man and woman snuggling a bit. What is wrong with him? That is disturbing.
If this all comes down to him just being a gay man, I'm just like, great, we get your bias, but just because you dislike something doesn't make it bad or cringy. You have to explain why. All we really got was some juvenile explanation for Hell of a Boss. And
I don't like lemon ice cream, so it's bad. You shouldn't like it either. Because I don't like it.
And you're wrong if you like it.
Yeah.
Universe, you cringe because they are genuinely cringe, but because your trauma is forcing you to. Or maybe it's just because.
What trauma did you go through, sir? You can't just. I was abused as a child. It's like, what? Where did that come from? How old are you?
When I'm confronted with things that remind me of my childhood trauma, I don't cringe. I empathize with what's on the screen, with the characters that go through similar shit, and also probably process a little of the shit that happened, because through this reflection, I'm shown some aspects of how a variant of this could be dealt with, how it could unfold.
This is
not. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
You're talking about catharsis, and you're saying, well, I had an emotional trauma that I can't get rid of. And you're like, okay, what exactly are we talking about now? Because if you have a bias that's so rooted in this traumatic experience, your entire opinion is backwards. We're not going to trust what you're saying.
Yeah. Cringe is the wrong emotional reaction for that.
I'm not sure what
your emotions are wrong. Your emotions are wrong.
You could be getting all of this wrong. We have no idea. If you suddenly, if Whisp starts talking about, I have all these issues, and when I was a child and I was a grown up, I got raped, this, blah, blah. It's like, holy crap. That's, whatever trauma you went through. And then you start talking about Steven Universe going, I cringe when I see him eating watermelons because I was traumatized as a child. And I was like, what? What are you talking? How does that have anything? Well, we were at a picnic one day and I got molested. I was like, whoa, what does that have anything to do with eating watermelons, sir?
Well, the watermelons were fried and they were used.
Like, it's so nonsensical. Like, we can make up any association between emotion.
You know what I cringe at? You know what I cringe at in this shot? The table. Because the legs don't make sense. I just stared at it and wondered, how does this thing stay up?
How does physics work?
Can nobody draw perspective anymore?
Just draw a line. Just draw a straight line down. You got a table. You don't need three weird-looking stupid legs.
The legs aren't even the same shape.
Yeah.
So, guys, when you have an explanation, you don't start ending your video or your essay with, I have my own personal trauma causing me to have these emotions. It's like, that does not help your argument. You're throwing in subjective, unrelated or unrealized emotions, which don't belong in especially a topic about a very specific emotion. It does not help your case. And then we have to question all of your interests and all of your tastes with things that aren't related to this. It's a dumb look. It's like if I suddenly said, well, I was high when I wrote this script. Have a good night. Like, it wouldn't make, like, you wouldn't do that.
Steven, a corny ass dude that has all his objectively good traits portrayed in the most swagless ways possible.
Swagless?
What does that mean?
So yeah, Cringe has its pros and cons, but at the end,
when is Cringe good, sir?
I missed
the title of his video
when
is Destroying Fiction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's talking about the pros of Cringe.
So it's a good thing?
Destroying it when he doesn't like it.
It's a good form of destruction? Like, what is he talking about?
We got 10 seconds left. We got 10 seconds left. Come on.
This is so wild. Like, what is he talking about?
Not smart. Just enjoy the ride. Just pay no attention while I
The ride's almost over.
I thought by the title and thumbnail we would get a simple, straight to the point, rational video.
Yeah, is anime being destroyed? Is it movies? Is it superheroes? What is it? Just writing in general.
end of the day, what isn't cringe, you know?
That's it.
You know? Your answer is you know?
What isn't cringe?
What isn't cringe? I'm out.
Everything sucks.
That is the most pseudo-philosophical bullshit I've heard in a while.
Life is pain.
He hits the stop button. He's like, yeah, that's going to make me think.
At least since Thursday.
Sugar is sweet.
But, Smart, what isn't sweet?
Life is long.
Streaming time.
Holy hell, what? Ugh.
We got a trek to go through, Smut.
Oh my god.
Man.
Let me see. What do we have here?
Wait, where are you at? Hold up.
All right. August the 12th. All right, here we go. No, you can't just be a better show. We represent lesbians of color, non-binary people, trans people, and poly relationships while dealing with... What? What the hell?
Wait, it's all just borderline. It's all just borderline and narcissism. That's Steven Universe.
You should have just...
Left me dead.
Left me dead.
Oh, fuck, right, because there's a thing with this little bastard. He can bring you back from the dead, but you're just pink for the rest of your life. And he just... Poor Riley from the
What the heck is that?
Poor Riley.
It's Lois.
Yeah, but why is she green?
Blue.
I think she's supposed to be a character from Steven Universe.
I'm Lopus.
Yeah, she's. Yeah, this is the Lapis Lazuli was, I think, some genocidal freak.
Yeah, I had my my brightness control, so it looked green.
It's blue.
Okay. Yeah,
turquoise.
Right. Sure. There's a good number. Good value. Okay. Now we have, these aren't memes, but someone bought some Legos. Okay. These are pretty cool. That's very detailed characters for Legos.
Cringe GIF.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh no. It's deformed.
Oh dear. What is that Steven Universe? What is that?
No, it's Steven Universe.
Universe?
Get it right.
Universe.
I can hear the dreidel spin.
Stop it. Stop saying that. Stop saying what? That you gay? Because your daddy told me he saw them gay magazines on your kitchen countertop. All right. Who's Rebecca?
Hey! Those magazines are. He wants to be what's in the magazines, not looking at them. You see, it's the Johnny Bravo approach.
I think we made a joke about this. Her last real name is Sugar.
Is she? Is it confirmed she's a woman?
Sure, let's go with
that.
That's because you could make the claim that she's not passing very well.
No, it's very unfortunate she's a woman.
There is a thread on Earth. Steven Universe is that dialogue or is that like the images?
I think it's dialogue. Or Steven Universe gives an emotional speech.
Oh, okay.
And acts up.
Oh,
with the simple solution.
It reminded me.
It's leftist meme long.
Reminded me of a late '90s meme where the JPEG got canceled from being downloaded. And you get this gibberish. But yeah, it is probably dialogue. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Please stop. There's good in your heart. Blow it out of your ass. I don't want to hurt you. I've got balls of steel.
Balls of steel.
Only you can help save your cell. Hail to the king, baby. Please, just listen to me. You're an inspiration for birth control.
The Duke.
Finally a chance to use this GIF.
No,
What is-
it's not.
What is this?
It's no.
The Chad.
Congratulations. Never use it again.
Yeah. The Chad meme,
That is
some thin
horrible.
guy, and then what the hell is the blob chick?
Don't just.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably some vlogger.
Okay, what's this?
Why was Tony so
Wow.
racist? He was defending his home and family. That scene is... He's an Italian mobster. What else do you want from him? I don't know.
I have no context for that.
He's because it's a friend. He's a friend of his daughter, the guy there. And he's like, I don't associate with her. Blah blah blah. Anyway, Snap. Yep, this one's going in my cringe compilation.
The conversation was fun in The Sopranos, because he made all the stupid SJW communist points, and Tone's family is, well, conservative and Catholic.
This is great. This is a really good scene.
Fun.
Can you actually replace the train with this model? I think that'd be great.
Thomas.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. But...
I want that mod just for that scene alone, because that scene gets replayed so many times.
I want to read this one. Do you know what really grinds my gear? People's keep insulting anime, yet the cartoons keep imitating them. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Okay, this is where she shoots herself, or the bullet ricochets.
That was funny.
Shot myself. Back up, stupid gun.
That was great. No, because you have all these options to where to aim, or is it to aim or to control the bullet trajectory? I can't remember how it works.
You tell her where to aim.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She shoots it and then she does this whole spiel.
Oh wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder. Yeah, okay, we've seen this a few times. There she is again. Thank you.
Sidebar. Steven Universe, creator, sex offender, war criminal, Zodiac killer. Rebecca Sugar.
Dale's rant. I will watch that later. Here we go. At Universe Chloe is physically disabled. Regular Universe Chloe mentally disabled. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd always choose physically disabled over mentally.
The canon is the
Okay,
town
so
gets
it's-
destroyed. Wow, that's sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And that is the wrong choice in writing.
Here's a person pushing a guy off a roof.
Oh, it's Paradox.
Wow, what a great character.
One of the more interesting characters.
White
One of
marble
the few that actually
philosophy.
has a bit of a development.
Is that Marcus Aurelius? Okay. White marble philosophy guy. Okay. A cringe man convinces others he is based. A based man owns his cringe aspects.
Yes.
Oh God, these people.
Oh, where's
yeah.
these people? Where's me noose? Where's my noose? How dare you with these art? What you've done?
Commie
Just punch him.
gibberish.
They can't run away anymore.
Commie,
Just punch him.
Commie gibberish of the day. I'm proud that I cannot satisfy my wife. Oh my God. Fruity, fertile femboys. I'm going to kill the Giga Chat. Why did I just get a WWE movie trailer ad? Is that a movie? Is that a thing? I had no idea.
He probably got like an advertisement during the stream.
Yeah, this was weird. He showed the scene with in Morbius for like a few seconds. I'm like, what is
Yeah,
this?
that had no point. And I will still say, I will stand by this. Morbius would have been an okay movie in phase 1. It's not as horrible as you meme it. It has a few mistakes, but it's not as horrible as you meme it, seriously.
Geneva Convention, more like Geneva Suggestion? Okay.
Well, it's Star vs. Evil.
This, I remember this.
She's a psycho.
This was the meeting at the ranch where all those writers got together to make up the High Republic. Yeah, a lot of
No, was that the High Republic? That was for the Star Wars movie.
It was no. This was the High. This was the they started throwing all these books and comics out, and this was the meeting where they were brainstorming.
Oh no! Oh, the High Republic. Dinosaurs representation. No, you have that with the alien.
There was a thing that was on this twice.
Yeah, they were showing the.
There was something on this that was here twice.
Anyway,
I
think diversity was on there twice.
It's like if you have.
Yeah, representation diversity. That's on there twice. It's in fiction and it's in Star Wars wishes.
Right.
So
here's the
fertile endpoint.
Oh dear. Jesse, we have to more. No.
That looks surprisingly fitting.
Cringy cartoon channels, any show with even the slightest amount of lore. Is this one of the best cartoons of the 2010s? I think every show has lore, but okay.
Oh, right. I forgot there were a lot of people back then calling Steven Universe the golden age of cartoons.
Right. Yeah. Did you know you can use your seatbelt to open beers while driving? Oh. Do you know you could use beers to open beers? Or beer? Or
did you know you can use hair to use open beers?
You could use all kinds of things. I guess.
You can't be serious with that.
You can use any corner of anything to open beers.
Leverage is awesome.
If you're good, if you're really good, you can do it with
crack-a-lacking. Crack-a-lacking. Okay.
Crack-a-lacking.
See, I don't think.
What does that mean?
I don't think people use this in common speech. Like you see it in a film, you don't just suddenly, I'm going to use that word now. It just would not work.
Something with old lingo that probably didn't get picked up.
Oh dear. What is happening?
Well, that's Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, I know. Their car is a reference to National Lampoon, and the seats are normal for it.
Oh, fucking.
I don't think that's normal. Unless
well,
there's
for the car, but look at the lights in the front.
Yeah, I want to know what car that is because
was this car designed by Homer Simpson?
Like it's so.
No. It doesn't have the dome, Whisp. It needs the
two
domes.
Look at this, the lime color and the weird wood furnishings, plaster paneling that's plastered on, and the fuck.
This has got to be like.
I think 50s. It was supposed to be a joke in the National Lampoon movie. Like it was like some foreign brand of a car, and the dealer was like really trying to sell it to Chevy Chase.
Okay.
Look, I have seen so many weird cars. I cannot question anymore whether this is a fictional joke car.
It looks like the wheels are different sizes. Like there's no safety in regards to like how this was designed.
Hey, have you seen the Ford car?
The Ford car?
Ford had released a car that was in the early 2000s, I think mid 90s. That was called Car, just K-A. It looks like an egg.
Fun. Your Naruto run was so cringe. Me, who was running like Sonic. How do you run like Sonic?
If you're gonna threaten me, do it properly.
I guess that's the joke. Like, you say I was running like Naruto, but I was actually running like Sonic.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, because he did it first.
I don't know.
Because he did it first. All right, here's some GIF there.
Shows are cringy. I was really molested by 16 autistic clowns. An AI drew that table. I can sort of see what the animators were trying to do with the table, but they botched it very badly.
No. We just needed a reason to fuse.
Me when he said the SU girls were fine and ignoring Luna. Oh. The GIF didn't work in previous post. Gears of War?
Okay. Yeah, Gears of War 3, I think, yeah.
Western art, Japanese art. But I am superior. What?
Can't you do something about your superiority complex? And Japan saying, but I am superior.
I am superior. Yeah.
One last one. people only like the 2 white dude side characters, a show that's entire purpose was to be about diverse female and trans characters.
Oh, High Guardian Spice in the
Those
corner.
aren't trans characters.
Didn't something similar happen to the Barbie movie?
I haven't watched
That
it.
character got. Oh, by the way, that Homer Simpson car would love to pay $82,000 for that, right?
Is that Nakatoro or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha! Holy jeez, that was a lot of memes for a lot of weird.
We survived.
Yeah, that was a really strange video. There were some things where like,
Yeah.
oh, he's making some sense. Then he's like, no, that's wrong. And then he's just making stuff up. And you're like, no, where'd you get that?
Smud, you said, it seems like he's making sense. Then cut to fruity, fertile femboys.
That
It's like, what the fuck?
This is totally fine. It's like,
that came out left field.
this is totally fine. You're like, whoa, I've never even heard of this.
That should be a meme in of itself. It's like, oh, this guy's making some really good points. Fruity femboys. What?
You forgot
After complaining about alleged pedophilia.
Oh, yeah. That was a weird one. Anyway, that was that was a really up and down sort of video. We were like, okay, and then back to okay.
I think I have whiplash.
It's strange to hear these people where they're not consistent with their opinion and they're just all over the place and they think this is normal. Can you imagine writing an essay like this? Like your first point is like on point, your second one is completely contradictory, and your third one is about some other nonsense that your emotions got in the way of your thinking. Like what? Okay. I must call into question everything you've said now. Oh, well, I mean, he's got some editing skills, so I'll hand him that. And he spent a lot of time finding those memes.
Yeah, Smud, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I know, but I gotta give credit where it's due. So he did put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah, he can put random scenes after one another that don't necessarily have anything. What he's saying, that is true. Yes.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, that was a strange take. We didn't learn anything. I didn't learn anything about cringe elements in anime or otherwise. But
all I know is MCU humor is just weed and humor. You know, like a certain show that Whisp watched.
Oh God.
Anyway,
it got called out for bullshit by the Auschwitz Museum.
Oh dear.
No, I was talking Buffy. You know, the weed and humor.
Oh.
You know?
Anyway,
Buffy is so bad.
Either way, we're going to call it a day. Thanks, guys. That was over 2 hours of us trying to interpret this fellow who has very different tastes than we thought. And his video is all over the place. But you could watch the video yourself and make your judgment yourself and go for that. That's fine. Leave a comment if you want with his video. Tell him what you think. Just ease up on the fruity, fertile femboys. That's a bit much.
No.
Anyway, other ways to learn alliteration, not through that. So have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Good night.